Hi. Welcome back to another episode of Local Roots. I'm Todd Studer. Things getting a little bit back to normal after a week of highlighting all of the different parks around Potawatomi County. And I had a great time learning more about them, doing research, putting all of that together. And in fact, it was the Saturday of Memorial Weekend that Diane and I drove around to each park. And that's why when you go back and you look at those videos and you watch those, you see as we are driving up to the sign at the entrance of the park, you see the wipers going. That was because it was raining lightly on that Saturday. And we did all of them in one day. I would recommend doing that if you ever have an opportunity to do it. Yeah, there's a little bit of travel time. Sorry, I'm bumping microphones here. There's a little bit of travel time involved with it, but you really get to see the not only the parks, but also the areas between the parks. Took some gravel roads to get there. We just followed what Google Maps said and had a great time. I was a little bit surprised, being Memorial Weekend, that all of the campgrounds weren't full. Now, at Arrowhead, they were full. The RV sites, tent sites, there was still quite a bit of availability in the tent sites, but the RV sites were full. However, at Botna Bend and also at Hitchcock and at Old Town Park, there was a lot of availability. So what that tells me is if it wasn't full on Memorial Weekend, chances are they're not full other times. Now, you can't reserve these spaces ahead of time. It's a first come, first serve. But I would recommend getting out and enjoying some time. If you like to camp at all, there wasn't a single park that I wouldn't have wanted to camp in. I've camped in 2 of the 4. I've never camped at Botna Bend, and I've never camped at Old Town Park. I've been to Hitchcock several times, and I've been to Arrowhead several times. So I want to get Botna Bend and Old Town onto my list of saying that, yes, I have camped there. So that's plans for the summer, and I hope to be able to make that happen. Coming up today, we're going to bring you a conversation with Niki Black. She's with Home Care Advocacy Network, and June is Elder Abuse Awareness Month. Niki talks about that. She talks about an event that is going to be coming up at Rivers Edge Park in Council Bluffs, Aging Safely in Southwest Iowa Resource Fair. So if you have a family member that maybe is already in that stage of life or could soon be entering that stage of life, this would be a great fair to attend. So that conversation coming up very, very shortly. First, if you need metal fabrication done right, look no further than Foxco Fabrication in Council Bluffs. From custom welding to large-scale manufacturing, they bring your ideas to life with expert craftsmanship and cutting-edge technology. Whether it's industrial, commercial, or custom fabrication, they get the job done on time and built to last. Learn more at foxcofab.com. If you have a leak, a clogged drain, or planning a big remodel, Waldstein Plumbing in Council Bluffs has you covered. Fast, reliable service and expert craftsmanship, handling everything from small repairs to major installations. Locally owned and trusted, they take pride in doing the job right the first time. Residential or commercial, big or small, when plumbing problems strike, call Waldstein Plumbing. Visit waldsteinplumbing.com for a free estimate. Joining us this morning, it is Niki Black with Home Care Advocacy Network. Always great to see you, Niki. Always great to see you on Thursdays at the Council Bluffs Business Connection. And it is also great to learn more about what it is that you folks do, because it's a very important mission that you have to be able to keep people in their homes just as long as they possibly can, even after the point that, maybe they need some assistance. And that's what you guys are there for.
Exactly. Yes. Good to see you, Todd.
Yeah, very much. And well, before we get too far into this, you have an event coming up very, very soon that people can come out and learn more directly from you instead of two-dimensional like we are here right now. It's something coming up at Rivers Edge Park, is it not?
Yes, correct. It is so June is Elder Abuse Awareness Month. So we're partnering with Connections Area Agency on Aging is putting on the event, and we will be setting up a table of resources with other vendors just to let the community know what services are out there and available for the seniors in our community.
Do you have, and I might be putting you on the spot here, but do you have some examples of what some folks go through that there has to me, it would seem we have to have an elder abuse awareness month. What is going on that this even needs to be a thing?
Sometimes our elderly people, the seniors in our community, they get forgotten about or they get taken advantage of. So we want to make sure that families are aware of what resources are out there to keep them safe, to protect them from fraud, to protect them from financial exploitation, to make sure they're properly cared for, that they're well nourished, they have food if they can't get to the store or cook for themselves, they have a clean home to keep them healthy and safe, that they have proper medical attention. If they can't get to the doctor and no one's forcing them to go and they don't feel up to it, are they getting the medical care they need? So partnering with many resources, Connections Area Agency is amazing. That's what they're there for, helping seniors stay safe in their home as long as possible. And we are providers for them. So when they have a client they're talking to about all levels, they're looking at abuse and fraud, they're looking at safety in the home, medical needs, food needs, transportation needs, they refer to us if they need a caregiver in the home. And so we provide that service through them for the clients in our area, just to keep them safe.
I think that from a layman's standpoint, we can sometimes get confused by the word abuse, thinking it's something physical that is happening to somebody, but that's not often the case. Yet there's bad people out there, and sometimes that can still happen. However, it can be, like you said, that someone just taking advantage of a situation financially. And I have actually been witness to this and have seen this before. And it can be a difficult thing. Yes. To get stopped because oftentimes the person who is on the receiving end of that doesn't believe that it's actually happening to them. And that was the case with me.
Yeah, correct. It's happening way more than I'd like to say or admit, and it's really sad and heartbreaking. So trying to prevent, trying to make people aware. Connections is great at little postcards of scams to avoid and putting out the newest scams. And so scams. So we promote those and give them to our clients and make sure they're aware too.
So it's coming up on June 13th at the Rivers Edge Park in Council Bluffs. So you'll just have a booth out there? Is that what?
Yeah, I'm just going to have a table set up. There'll be lots of vendors with tables set up to give resources out. The YMCA, Sarah Care Hospice, Angels Home Health Care will be there, as well as Connections Area Agency and some other resources for seniors.
Yeah. I was just out there a couple of weeks ago for an event for National Alliance on Mental Illness, and I'm going to cross my fingers for you that it's not as windy your day.
I know. Never know what we're going to get. It could be really hot. It could be cold. It could be windy.
We had folks' papers and things they were giving away flying down the sidewalk because it was just so crazy windy. Yeah. But and actually the awning that we had over the welcoming booth that we had went airborne. And we were very, very fortunate that it didn't hit anybody as it came up out of and this thing was weighted down and it still got into the air. So just take plenty of weights and make sure that you stay, if it is windy.
Maybe leave my big stand-up flyer down if it's going to be, so it don't go flying.
That's exactly right. Let's talk a little bit about, when you come in and bringing your services, oftentimes it has to do with, okay, what can the family afford? And you work with them to make sure that you're finding that balance between the right care. And there's also an opportunity for the families to still stay involved to a certain degree, handling the things that they can handle.
Correct.
And having you handle the things that maybe are more professional in nature.
That's correct. We definitely want to fill the gaps, what families able to do for their loved one and being involved. We don't want to force ourselves in on that if it's sustainable for them and it's safe and they're comfortable. We want to fill in the gaps around what family can do, what Medicare will cover through either home health care or hospice care, whatever it may be. And so we fill in those gaps, but we also help them to know how do we keep them safe during that time as well. So every consultation, I take a safety checklist in our folder and give it to the family. It's something we can do together, something they can look over. And if anything on that checklist kind of draws a red flag of, I don't know what to do for this. How do I get this in place? Where do I find these tools? we can sit and talk about. I tell them to give me a call and let's address each of those individually and make sure we're set up for safety and for this to be a successful interaction overall to make them safe. If we're just coming in a couple hours a day and that's all we're doing, are we really doing any good and making any big change? No. So we have to look at the whole big picture with each family to keep them safe.
I think oftentimes, it's a cliche to say it, that we don't know what we don't know.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
to have that checklist, I would assume that oftentimes family members will look at that list and say, "Oh, I never thought about that." And
Yes.
because this has never been an issue, but I can see how it could be. So we need
Yeah.
to take care of it ahead of time.
Prevention. Correct. Yes. Preventing those things from happening because some of them can be catastrophic. They can definitely, with a house fire, it can lead to, a major fall that could break something. And, then it's a hospitalization and stay. And, we want to avoid that if at all possible. Give the resources ahead of time to prevent those things from happening.
Talk a little bit about the importance of what the services that you do to be able to keep people in their homes longer. What does that do for them?
I mean, everyone wants to age in place. You heal better at home. Quality over, thinking of facility level of care. Some people facilities are great for. That's the only option. They really don't have a home place they want to call home, or it's just not feasible or safe in their home and their setup. But some people, it's just quality of life for them to be able to have say in their care, to be able to decide, have some control, and be in their home. And they age better, they're healthier, happier in their homes, as long as they can be. So that is where we come in and what we want to provide. And we support them in any decision they make. If their goal changes from, yes, I wanted to be home, to I think it's time for me to go somewhere, we support that and we help them along the way with the transitioning, finding placement with other resources and tools we have in the area. Gene Bunker with Assisted Living Locators is an amazing resource and asset to give them, to just help them find their options, help them set up a tour, see what they're looking at. And she gives them an honest, respectable opinion of where she thinks they should be and how to plan out the rest of their days. And sometimes it's, go ahead and spend down your money doing some home care where you want to be. Tomorrow's not promised to us, you never know. And then if we're kind of going through that and you're still holding on strong and you want to keep going, okay, let's look at these placements and what lists to get you on and give you tours. And so just a lot of collaboration coming together to keep people safe.
If someone is seeing this and they're wondering whether or not you provide services in their town, how far out do you go?
Well, we're, all of Southwest Iowa we cover.
Well, Southwest Iowa is a big place.
It is a big place. So I would say from, technically our local territory is Pottawatomie, Mills, and Harrison County, and Montgomery County. We also go all the way towards the Missouri border. We have clients down in Sidney and Farragut and, those areas, and all the way out
in Fremont County and into Page County.
Page County, Cass County, and then up to Shelby, and we're in Crawford. We have a lot of clients in the Denison area, all the way over to Mo Valley and Ottawa, and back towards CP. So very broad territory. We do not go into Nebraska at all. We have other franchises in Nebraska that service those areas. So we refer to them if we get a call for any clients in Nebraska. So our caregivers are all right here in Iowa, serving from Iowa, which is a big help, a very, attractive thing to tell clients. They worry a lot about. They're like, oh, thank goodness your people aren't coming from Nebraska, getting stuck in the traffic, trying to get over the river. And, it's a great tool to have and resource right there next to us. But there's something to be said about us being right here, local in their hometown and around, and being able to get to them.
And with that, you talked about the caregivers.
Yes.
Part of your job is going to be facilitating where you can get caregivers to. And this is an assumption again on my part that a caregiver in Denison probably isn't going to be really effective making it down to Sydney.
Yeah,
So
no.
you need people that are already in these areas.
Yes, correct. So we put out ads in each of those areas to find caregivers to serve that area around them. It has to be a good home work life balance. It has to be feasible, sustainable for them to take on that client.
Are
Um,
there certain qualities that you're looking for in someone that can serve as a caregiver with you?
Definitely, we have to have some empathy, some caring, compassionate people, reliable, trustworthy. They that's who I'm marketing. So when I hire a caregiver, I have to say I have to be able to market this caregiver. And we have a great team. We've been very blessed with so many good caregivers. I think we're sitting close to 70 caregivers right now.
Wow.
And just an amazing team. So I have a hard team behind me in the office working to hire them, keep them happy and engaged and training, and definitely a big group effort. And I have a great team behind me to do that.
You have a lot of moving parts in
A
what you
lot of
do.
moving parts. I like puzzles, evidently. Piecing those things together. It's a lot of work, but that's how my brain works.
Are you looking for caregivers before the clients are in the area, or is it the other way around? How does that
We're
work?
constantly looking. We always say we're always hiring compassionate, caring caregivers. And so if there's somebody in that area, we want to get them onboarded, trained, ready to go before the client signs is ideal. And then obviously, if we get a call in an area that we don't have a lot of availability, we're definitely pushing and posting those ads to get someone in that area as soon as possible and get them up and running. In the meantime, my lead caregiver and I have a few leads, a few leaders, I would call, that jump in wherever I need them to cover those shifts until we get the permanent caregiver in place.
Is this more of a full-time job or a part-time job of the
It
caregiver?
really varies. It's home care is so unpredictable. Sometimes you might be getting overtime, and sometimes you may be lucky to have 20 hours that week. And so it's definitely takes the right person that it's in it for the right reason, able to be flexible. Sometimes, a lot of times, we're the second job. They have one full main job, and then we're the filler around it. We obviously can't have that be every caregiver, so we do have several that are full time, and they're the ones that are willing to fill in wherever we need them to be for the short period, and then they move on to the next client we sign for a short period till we find the permanent caregiver, which involves some more travel for them sometimes, and we compensate them for that to make sure it's worthwhile and trying to keep their bills paid.
Let me give you the opportunity to give a pitch for Home Care Advocacy Network as an employer, because
Okay.
you obviously love your job. So
Yes. Yeah.
I think that it's a safe question to ask that this is a pretty good company to work for.
I believe so. HCAN's whole motto and their values just they're focused on elevating the privilege of caregiving, making each caregiver feel truly valued and appreciated, knowing that they work for a company that has their back, has their well-being in mind, wants a good home work life balance. We tell them in their orientation, fill out a paper that says, what hours do you not want to work? And we're going to block out those hours that you're not available, that you have family time, you want to sleep at night, whatever it may be. And we block them out, and then we put them available the hours that they want to work. And so when you can kind of choose your schedule, it definitely helps balance out home and work, and you just have more fulfillment. You're going to show up, you're going to be more reliable. So I definitely think that sets us apart from some other companies, as well as our hands-on training. You're interactive, you're here in the office, hands-on practice, shadow shifts, getting you in a Hoyer sling, all the things we really want it to be hands-on and interactive so that you're prepared for anything that gets sent your way at a client's home.
Well, whether you are looking for a new career or you are looking for services from Home Care Advocacy Network, you can go online, hcan.com/Southwest Iowa. And don't forget that the Aging Safely in Southwest Iowa Resource Fair is coming up on June 13th. And that will be at Tom Hannafin Rivers Edge Park in Council Bluffs. Grateful as always, Niki, to get a chance to talk with you and learn more about the important work that you do. And I'm looking forward to another opportunity to sit down and talk again.
Thank you, Todd. Good to talk to you.
Castle and Associates of American Family Insurance is your local insurance provider for all of your home, auto, life, business, and farm insurance needs. 4 convenient locations in Council Bluffs, Trainer, Bellevue, and Elkhorn. They are local and in your neighborhood, ready to help you navigate the complexities of insurance today. Travis and his team educate, advise, and simplify insurance, all to protect those things you cherished most. Give them a call for your free quote. We're going to have Travis back on the show again this week to give you some more insurance tips, some things to look out for, and just some stuff to be able to keep in mind. Travis is the first to admit that his number one goal is education. And he wants to be able to be a source of information for you. So I'm very, very happy that we get to partner with him here on the Local Roots Show. And Travis will be coming up a little bit later on this week. We have a lot to get to this week, and I'm looking forward to some wonderful conversations, always looking for more people to talk to. If you know someone that would make a great guest on Local Roots, please send me an email, toddstuder@gmail.com, and I'd love to get an introduction and see whether or not we can't arrange a time to sit down and talk. All right, that's going to wrap things up for this Monday. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Todd Studer. We'll see you back here again tomorrow morning.